What's up, everybody? It's KelseeBrianaJai here with my most disappointing products of 2017. Now, I did this video last year and so many of you all loved it. I was like, I definitely have to bring this video concept back for 2017 because, as you all know, I just did my favorites of 2017, and if you haven't seen that video, definitely go check that out. But I'm like, it was a lot of misses in 2017 as well, so we can't just shed light on the good and not the bad. You take the good, you take the bad, you take them both, and then you have the facts of life. But quickly, before we jump into this video, I do have to give a disclaimer. Even though none of us like disclaimers, they are still necessary, just like when you accept the terms of agreement when you get a new phone. Same thing with this video. But I'm not brand bashing. I love some products from the brands that I'm going to mention, but these products just aren't it. These are not going to be in my holy grails. They're not going to be something that I'm going to use. It is what it is. Sometimes you can't always love everything because, like life, it's something out there for everybody, and these products are not for me. But I'm gonna go ahead and jump into this video, and these items are not listed in any particular order. So first off, let's talk about the YSL All Hours foundation. So I tried this foundation this summer. I was still on tour when I tried the foundation. Got my foundation relatively early, but because I was still touring and going through just a lot of movement, I wasn't able to try it out until a little bit later. So when I actually sat down and was like, okay, I'm trying this foundation, doing my research and whatnot, I see that they have all of these colors. I'm like, okay, boom, good, all right. But then I look and see that there's only two colors for deeper complexions. I'm like disappointed because I have to buy two $60+ foundations, mix them, and it's still not my correct color. So I just felt like YSL definitely dropped the ball with that. And what made it so bad is that they had so many different colors of the foundation, and the lighter colors are just very slight variations of one another. That's what really made it the worst, because it's not like that the colors were just so different and they're like, okay, we're still in the lab formulating, but we just want to get this out there. It's like light beige with a little bit more peach, light beige with a little bit more pink, light beige with a little bit more golden. It's like, YSL, for real? For real? You trying it right now. The next product is a product that I tried early on in the year. It is the Lancome Rose Highlighter. Now, Lancome has since redeemed themselves. They were in my favorites video of the year with their dual finish highlighter. But before they came out with that, let's not forget that they came out with a highlighter that was a plastic rose with sprinkles of cocaine on it, trying to tell us that that was a highlighter. It was not actually cocaine, okay, but it was very reminiscent of it. My interpretation of my idea of what I think cocaine would look like, that's what was on that rose. It's like somebody took some erasers from an old school classroom, clapped them together, and was like, you know what? Let's not discard of this product. Let's let the chalk remnants float down to this plastic flower that we're going to charge an obscene amount of money for, and let's market this as a highlight. Some higher up exec was like, yes, that's a brilliant idea. We've never done anything like this before. We've never seen it done before. Mind you, it's a reason why you've never seen it done before. And they were like, okay, let's do it. And that's what they did. And it was a really bad idea. And I wish that they had never come out with that, because it really just made me think like, dog, is Lancome really that short on ideas where they think that this is an acceptable launch? Because it's not. So this was a fan favorite, you know, and Puvin's wife and I, we collaborated this summer and we did a review on the Jessie and Katy collection. If you guys watch my recent vlog that I just uploaded in the video dump that I did, you guys will see that I was out in the line in California. I Ubered over there. I was there early in the morning, didn't have any sleep to get this collection, and then when I saw it, I was like, maybe it performs better. I wanted that collection to just be magnificent, and it was just okay. I didn't really care for a lot of the things from the collection. I didn't really like the lipsticks. I didn't feel like they were compatible with my complexion. I didn't really like the eyeshadow formula. I feel like it was really chunky. I didn't like the highlighters. I feel like they were just like really just I just wasn't impressed overall with the collection, and I was really disappointed because I love Desi Perkins. Like, I love her. It just, that collection just did not do it for me, and I was disappointed. The MAC Grand Illusion lip lacquers, lip glosses, lipsticks, whatever they want to call them. So MAC had a really cool idea to do like these really pretty holographic type lip products. Okay, so I bought pretty much all of them, with like maybe the exception of one or two that were like just straight up white or something like that. So I get them home to do a review video for you guys. I put one on just to test it out, do my intro for you all, and my lips start tingling. So if you guys don't know me, let me tell you, I don't like tingling lip products in any capacity. So I don't want anything to plump. I don't want anything to burn. I do not like that sensation on my lips. Like, I cannot stand it. So my lips start to tingle. So immediately I'm like, oh my God, I'm having an allergic reaction to this. Why are my lips tingling? So then I go on the website and I read in the description, deep down in the description, that these have like some sort of tingling sensation to them. Oh, I was hot. I was like, so you just gonna add some tingling stuff in my lip products and not tell me? I feel like that's something you need to disclose first. So I call MAC customer service. I'm hot, but I'm, you know, I'm playing it cool on the inside. I'm like, so hey, how you doing? Could you please explain to me why my lips are on fire right now? And the girl was like, I don't know. I'm just a customer service rep. I don't really know anything. I'm like, okay, cool. She was like, let me transfer you over to our product specialist. I'm like, okay, boom. I used to work in MAC. I know all about product specialists. You're supposed to know everything inside and out. And it's a product specialist at corporate level. She really should know why my lips are burning. I did this on camera too, mind you. So she gets on the phone. Yeah, I'm not really sure why your lips are burning. I can read you off the list of ingredients. I'm like, well, boo, I have that right here on my package. I don't really need you to read me off anything. I know how to read myself. So she's like, oh, well, I don't really know. And you know, MAC, we really have never had any type of tingling, you know, plumping lip products. I'm like, you have, and you had them for years. Like, are you new? Like, what's going on? So long story short, never got my answer. She was like, I don't know. I just chalked it up to they just wanted to make my lips burn, to torture me. I was not having it. All those products were disappointing. All of the cool color combinations that I was thinking of in my head to use those with, ixnay. Done. Finito. Bye. Next, the Chanel, hold on, Libre eyeshadow palette. So I did a review on that. Like, it was like just a random review. I want to try out some of the new Chanel stuff. I love mostly all Chanel products. Like, Chanel is one of my favorite brands. So when they come out with stuff, I'm like, all right, I'm probably gonna like it. The colors, they were very simple colors, but it looks like a really pretty elegant palette. Okay, so I'm, you know, trying to use it and it's no products coming on my brush. I'm using several different brushes and there's still no products coming on my brush. So I'm like, do I have a defective palette? So I go to the store, swatch the palette, and I felt like it was just like a plastic displayer. So then I'm like, okay, so it's not just the palette that I'm working with, it's just the overall formula. I think the Chanel pressed them so hard that they turned into rocks, and there was no color payoff with those eyeshadow palettes. And I think that that was kind of disappointing. And then on top of that, it was $70. I need for there to be some pigmentation in my eyeshadow. I need there to be $70 worth of pigment in each individual eyeshadow. And it was only like 5 little strips of eyeshadow at that. And it was like, Chanel, you played yourself. The Dior Pump and Volume Mascara. The traditional makeup tube typically is in a very hardened plastic container, and when you get to the end of your mascara, you kind of scraping around the edges. But Dior came out with this really ingenious idea, which I still think the idea was very cool, but just the execution wasn't there. They made the body of the mascara out of a soft plastic, that way it can feel the warmth from your body and basically reactivate the formula of the mascara. Now that would have been a super bomb mascara concept if it didn't activate into super goop. You know, like on Nickelodeon back when we were kids, they used to have slime time. That's what I felt like was happening on my lids. It was like, why is this turning my lashes into clumps? One second my eyelashes were Buddy Love, the next second my eyelashes were Professor Sherman. I just didn't know what was going on, so I just had to say, you know what, I'm done. The Too Faced Peanut Butter and Honey should have stayed at the drawing table. When I saw that palette in the store, I thought it was so cute. It was shaped like a piece of bread or like toast. Something super cute, super like Too Facedy, you know, they like really cutesy food type palettes. So I was like, all right, I might like this palette. So I bought it, and I was initially drawn to that yellow eyeshadow, and I took it home and I tried to make it work. I even had a yellow eyeshadow base, and who has that? It still was not popping for the life of that palette. That palette was so dry that if I opened it up at the wrong time, at the wrong moment, it just might catch fire because it was so dry. You opened up that palette and it said, those eyeshadows just were like dust. You know, like how people have old makeup in their house, and like if somebody has an estate sale, they have like this old vintage makeup and it has that old makeup smell. That, like, the whole thing reminded me of an estate sale, and that's never what you want your new eyeshadow palettes to remind you of. An estate sale though. Next, let's talk about the Nars stick foundation, and let's talk about how oily it was. Let's talk about how dry it was at the same time. Let's talk about how patchy it was. Let's talk about how it gave me no coverage but felt heavy on my face. And let's also talk about how it oxidized not even 30 minutes into me wearing it. And you know what? As a matter of fact, let's not talk about it. Let's just move on, because that's how over that foundation I am. Over it. So the Farsali Jelly Beam illuminator or highlighter or whatever was the most epic fail review of my entire YouTube career. So when I was reviewing that highlighter, as soon as I opened it up out of its container, it just fell out of the package like flubber. Like, you know how flubber had its own little mind of its own and it just, you know, lived its little life? I felt like they had packaged up flubber and put it in my container, because when I opened it, it just spilled all over the floor. It spilled all over my pants. It ruined my pants. Me being the optimistic person that I am, I was like, let me look on the bright side of things. Even though this product just ruined my pants and it's all in my carpet, let me make the best of this situation, and I'm still hoping to get a bomb highlight out of this product. Sometimes optimism just really doesn't translate into a great experience, because when I applied it on my face, it melted into my face. Not in a good way, like not in the melt like, ooh, it's like a glowing from inside type glow. It melted in my face like a did you need to go wash that off type situation. It looks like a medicated cream a little bit. My face was not feeling it. My pants weren't feeling it. And last but not least, my carpet wasn't feeling it either. You know what? Let's just go ahead and throw this in for good measure. My knees weren't feeling it, because I was down there scrubbing my carpet for at least 30 minutes trying to get the remnants of that highlight out of my carpet. So thank you so much, Farsali, for ruining my day. Next is the Becca Après Ski Glow eyeshadow palette. I was very hesitant to buy it because it had all of the highlighters that they already have in their permanent lineup in eyeshadow form. So I immediately thought, okay, if they have the same colors, then why can't I just use the highlighters on my lid instead of buying I don't know, it was like $50 eyeshadow palette at the time to give me the same look, because it's the same colors. And honestly, I would have really been better off using what I already had at home as opposed to buying that eyeshadow palette, because the eyeshadow palette had no pigmentation. Like, not an ounce of pigmentation. If that's the intended purpose of this eyeshadow palette, I need it to be detailed as such. Like, don't market it as a traditional eyeshadow palette. You're gonna get pigmentation. It's gonna give you that beautiful sheen. I know every eyeshadow is not gonna give you just like that super bling blow, but however, if it is an eyeshadow palette, I needed to give my eyes some type of shadow. It gave nothing. It looked like nothing. There was not a sparkle, a dazzle, a hint of a shimmer on my lid. It just was flat. It was just like, I could just go use my opal over here for free $99 that I've had for 4 years, get a use out of that, pull that back out of the drawer, because that would give me a lot more bang for my buck than this like $55 expensive palette. And very shortly after I did the review video, guess what happened? They put that palette on sale, and then that palette went on sale again, and then that palette is still on sale to this day. I hate to do this to my auntie Pat, but the Pat McGrath Liquid Lust liquid lipstick set that I bought, no, it didn't perform like how it did on her Instagram. And I tried different variations of it. I tried it off camera, I tried it on camera, I tried it several different ways on camera, and it just was, every single time it just looked like a shimmery lip gloss. The product wasn't ugly. Like it really wasn't an ugly product. It gave me a really pretty lip. I could have created like just, you know, basic lip looks with it. But what I was looking for, and the reason why I am disappointed in it, I was looking for the same effect that happened on her Instagram. And I feel like no matter what I did, I couldn't make it look like how it looked on her Instagram. Normally I'll be like, well, that's just Auntie Pat creating her Auntie Pat magic. But then I'm like, nah, fam. I spent $75 on this lip kit. I need some of that Auntie Pat magic up on my lips. So it just wasn't happening. So I was just disappointed. Back on Too Faced. Okay, so I like Too Faced sometimes. So I have a very love-hate relationship with Too Faced. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I really love their stuff. Sometimes I just swatch it in the store and go, This is one of those things that I really try to love. Everybody loves this palette, but I just don't like it. It's the Too Faced Just Peachy Mattes palette. Everybody loves this palette. Looking at it, the palette is visually stunning to me. I love the colors. I don't have colors like that in my collection, so I try everything to make this palette work in my power, honestly. Like, I tried the palette at least 6 or 7 times before I was like, you know, it's just not for me. But I wanted it to be for me. I wanted to like this palette, but on me, on my skin, it just was patchy. It was splotchy. I couldn't get a decent look to save my life. So I just had to let that one go and let God. Like, I just had to let that one be free. Do we really have to spend time talking about that Huda Beauty foundation, or do y'all just want to go watch my review video and see for yourself? Because just no. The NYX Dropper foundation, that was a streaky mess. You watch my channel, you know I pretty much stick to mid to luxury range products, and that's kind of, you know, my thing. And it's not that I'm opposed to trying other things. If I'm gonna venture out and this is what I'm presented with, we're gonna have some type of issues, and it needs to be some consequences and repercussions for why that was so streaky on my face. Please, please, anybody tell me why. I need to know. I need answers. The Bobbi Brown, let me read it off. Instant Cover Conceal Concealer, aka cement. That stuff was so dry. I thought that my tube was just old, because like I was trying to scrape it out and it was kind of, you know, feeling like a workout. I was tugging at my skin so hard putting on the concealer. I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. And I feel like that's really unlike Bobbi to create a concealer that was so freaking dry like that. Pretty shocked that that was put out there. Nobody really talked about it. It's something that I tried and I didn't talk about it anymore. And I feel like that needs to be mentioned. That was a huge disappointment for the brand. I'm just saying. The Huda Beauty Warm Obsessions eyeshadow palette. And it kind of baffles me that that is the only Obsessions palette that actually was no good. Like, all of the other ones were really nice. So it's like, how did you get it right 3 out of the 4 times when the most basic one, you know, that should have been the one that was the best? And so it's like, how did you mess up on the neutral one? I don't get it. But that eyeshadow palette was so dry. Like, it gave me no pigmentation, which is crazy because alternatively, the Smoky Obsessions palette was in my favorite. So it's like, I expected the Smoky Obsessions palette to be the one that was really difficult to blend and hard to work with, but that one was the gem of the 4. And then the warm one, which I feel like she has those colors times 50 in her eyeshadow palettes that she's released. All she had to do was copy and paste what she already had done in a smaller version. How did you mess that up? I don't get it, sis. I don't know. Speaking of warm eyeshadow palette disappointments, let's go ahead and talk about the Viseart Golden Hour eyeshadow palette. I know that you all are an artist-based brand, okay? I appreciate that. I'm a makeup artist. I love when you don't focus on the exterior but the interior and what the products are going to perform like, and consistency and just overall quality. So I see them wanting to venture into mainstream land and become more consumer friendly, which I'm not mad at that at all. I'm on both sides of the fence. I am on one side a professional makeup artist, but on the other side I also just like makeup. So sometimes it doesn't have to be in my kit, it's just for me. When they came out with the golden hour palette, I'm like, okay, Viseart trying to step up the packaging. I see you over there, player from the Himalayas. When I tried the eyeshadows out, I'm like, why are these blending away? Like, why can't I get pigmentation from these? Why do these feel so different? I don't get it. It's like, I don't know if you're changing the formula. Like, are you trying to make the formula easier to use? Like, do you feel like people are not going to understand the concept of pressed pigments? I don't know, but talk to me. Don't just leave me hanging and just have me thinking that it's going to be the same quality, and then when I buy it I'm like, no, what is this? And then I'm like doing reviews, like talking about what happened. I need you all to open the lines of communication and say, hey, we changed the formula because we feel like this will be a more consumer friendly formula to work with. So don't expect it to perform the same way that our 12 pan eyeshadow palettes perform. Don't expect it to perform the same way that the Grande Pro eyeshadow palette performs. But me going in thinking I'm going to get this same Viseart bomb quality with the new packaging, and then it's not happening. Natasha Denona X Foundation. Can you tell how over it I am? Natasha is, you know, one of my soulmates in the makeup industry, but as far as foundation goes, she hasn't quite mastered it for deeper complexions yet. I tried the foundation. Why is there so much orange in the foundation? Why is there so much orange in all of the deeper complexion foundations? Let's start a movement for 2018. Pound, take the orange out. It's not necessary. And the last product that I have that is a disappointment for the year 2017 is the Sephora Cool and Warm eyeshadow palettes. I'm gonna tell you why they're a disappointment, okay? People acted like these eyeshadow palettes were the second coming. They love them. They were their life. The happiest moments weren't complete if they weren't by their side. They were their relation, their connection to the sun. And with the palettes next to them, there was no darkness they could not overcome. These palettes got so much hype that it's like, I have to try these palettes because these are the next big thing in the beauty industry. So I get the palettes, like go out of my way to get the palettes. At the time I'm on tour, so I'm hunting down Sephora's. When I got the palettes, I'm like, oh, is this what we've done the most for? Is this what we've come to? Not saying the palettes are horrible, but it's like, I have palettes like this, you know, from like 1999. This is a very, very basic eyeshadow formula. So I know that Sephora brand was created to keep up with trends. Their products aren't meant to have longevity. They're just meant to stay on trend to offer a more affordable price point to those who don't want to spend a lot of money. Very smart concept, but it's like, okay, what makes these special than any other palette that we can buy from Target? And then next thing you know, isn't this funny how YouTube works? Next thing you know, nobody talks about them anymore. And I mean, falls off the face of the YouTube planet. And, you know, Mel and I have done a video about that before. How, like, people hype stuff on YouTube. And then it's like, nobody talks about it in a month. And that's one of those things. But these are all the fails for me for 2017. Let me know what some of your products are that you had very high expectations for and they just fell short for you. Even let me know if it's something that I love and you tried and you're like, Kelsee, what were you thinking? Because we all have different tastes. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad if people have an opinion and want to express it. My mama always says, she always has told me, it's not about what you say, but it's about how you say it. Feel free to express your opinion, but your delivery is what's going to make the difference between how somebody reacts to you. So let me know what you think down in the comment section. I look forward to 2018, and I am very sure that this video will live on in perpetualness. I'm sure that along with the great products that I hope to be released in 2018, there are also going to be some disappointing products. If you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to this video, especially if you want to see more content from me, your girl KelseeBrianaJai, and I cannot wait to talk to you guys next time. Smooches. Bye.